Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. We're back to work on editing chapter 2 of Echoes of the Cosmic Veil. Of course, this is book 1 of a series, and we'll work on book 2 later on. I would like to actually just get this one edited and published up. Obviously, if you look at the plan, the book is finished up to chapter 27. Today, we ought to be able to knock out chapter number 2 with the adjustments that need done. Um, Not a ton needs done here, but let's just be honest. I've had some criticism that I didn't inform people enough or give them enough of the background of the horrors or the interdimensional invaders. And so, in all honesty, as we edit through this and stuff like that, that's one of the adjustments I want to make. I'm going to get chat up real quick. I do hope you all are having just a absolutely amazing morning. I'm having a pretty freaking awesome morning. I've got some coffee in me. I will, of course, do trend report later on. I have pulled up the trends and kind of looked at them. Um, Outside of the massive political changes happening all over the world, um, most of it's sports. Let's just be honest. Hold on one second. It does look like I have chat up, and so let's get going. You guys are freaking awesome, by the way. Okay, so we know that Elena just basically let him know that she's moving off planet, and that basically she's done with Sam. So basically, at this point, chapter 2 isn't a very big chapter. So there has got to be some places that we can stuff in some of the background history of what happened. I, so let's read through this, then I'll think about what can be stuffed in. Uh, let's, yeah, that's where we're at. Let's read this and then let me see where my head looks like it is. I think my camera got bumped, guys. Let me angle that down just slightly. Who knows? I could have angled it down too much. Okay. I quickly got myself around to take a shower and gather my thoughts. The cool water flowing over me was rejuvenating. Hold on, I don't know if I like how that is. Okay, I quickly got myself around to take a shower and gather my thoughts. The cool water flowing over me was rejuvenating as I washed the grime from the previous night from my body. Okay, that needs a comma. Okay. I stood there watching the water go down the drain, thinking about Elena moving away and what it really meant. The galaxy was big, and for the most part, once someone moved away, you almost never saw them again. Let's take out, um, you never saw them again. Like, let's take out the almost, let's make it a hard, right? Okay. Worst thing is, I knew she had made the best choice for herself by leaving. Okay. Dioria's space station had less and less people, and with that, less and less opportunities. I think that's accurate. After the horrors went back to wherever they came from, people started taking the opportunities to resettle planets again. Now it seemed Elena was ready to move on as well, not just from Dioria's space station, but any chance of us. I knew how far I had fell and how broke I was since quitting my job. I could only find the occasional odd gig to make credits, none of them paying very well, often providing just enough credits to get some cheap food and pay off my friends. I did want to get myself together, and I had been planning to wait. I did want to get myself. I don't know if I like this. I did want to get myself together. Okay, I'm going to change it like this. Because we all know the kind of, everybody knows that where I'm going to get my shit together eventually. Okay, let's see if this sounds better. Often providing just enough credits to get some cheap food and pay off my friends. I did want to get myself together and had been planning to for a long time now. Clearly, a little too long. That eventually was now. Okay, let's change it. Ooh, what am I doing? Yep, that's what I want. Okay, that was going to change now. And I knew I needed to sober up. Okay, boom, boom, boom. His choice is not going to be to sober up. Just if you guys are preparing for him to all get sober right here, boom, that's not what we're doing. I made a plan to score a good amount of bliss. Of course, because your plan before you get your shit together is always to get really high one last time. That's just reality. That is how it works. That was going to change a good amount now. Wait, it's going to change now. Okay, that was going to change now. I needed to sober up to quit messing up. Let's separate them out and do we want to drop the F bomb word or do we want to leave it messing up? Does anybody have an opinion on this? Legit? I'm going to leave it as messing up now. I'm not sure I leave it that way. I made a plan to score a good amount of bliss and have one last big hurrah, then go totally sober. I thought about who all I would want to hang out with, especially knowing it was going to be my last time getting high. I didn't have enough credits to pay off my. Wait, I didn't have enough credits to pay off my previous front, but that had never stopped me from coming up with some way of scoring before. I knew someone would want to hook up with enough to pay back my previous front, which would allow me to get another front for what they wanted and most likely a little something for myself. Just kind of seeing where we're going on this. I had a few friends that would likely have the credits, but the most likely would be Zach and Sarah. Sarah had been my friend for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. To my pleasant shock, as soon as they met, they became inseparable. Zach and Sarah had their own addictions, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining almost normal life. They had been dating for the last 2 years and were planning on getting contracted to each other through marriage once they managed to save the required credits. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work in the arcane district of the station. Zach worked as a personal trainer, often slinging a little amper, the drug he loved the most. Zach worked out using amper to wait, push himself and maximize his gains. Sarah would often heal Zach to counteract the damage from his intensive workouts, allowing him to recover faster. After Sarah would heal Zach, they would often use a little bliss to relax themselves. Out of all the people I knew, I liked them the most, and they were the most likely to have credits to pay off my front from track. I arrived at their section of the space station quicker than I had previously expected, not providing enough time to fully think out how I would ask them for the credits to pay off the front, or if I would just approach them with an offer to go score. As I walked up to the front of the well maintained complex, I made my way to the guest console where I messaged them. The smells coming from the building in the mechanical and alchemy quarters of the station where Sarah and Zach lived were always pleasantly surprised. Were always a pleasant surprise, and today was no different. Zach quickly appeared in the console display, saying, "Come up." As I walked into Sarah and Zach, the aroma of the delicious meal being cooked hit me. Sarah always was cooking up amazing food while Zach worked out. Sarah yelled, "You're just in time. I'm making my famous teriyaki shish kebabs. It's home system food." I was super grateful to have Sarah and Zach in my life. They were always willing to hang out and often having a fresh meal to share. I sat down, gathering my thoughts for a moment. I knew I would be better off starting out with small talk, but had not fully thought out what to say. Lucky for me, Zach, without wasting any time at all, asked, "Oh, you know what? I have him in the other room, and so let's keep him in the other room, right?" I sat down, gathering my thoughts for a moment. I knew, yeah, I knew, comma, yeah, I knew it would be better off starting out with small talk, but had not fully thought out what to say. Lucky for me, without wasting any time at all. Lucky for me, Zach, without. Okay. Lucky for me, Zach. This should be a comma. Lucky for me, Zach, without wasting any time at all, shouted. I believe that I'm wrong on that. Hold on. Lucky for me. Oh, you know what? Let's change where we have Zach and it will change us out. Lucky for me, without wasting any time at all, Zach shouted from the other room, "Do you think you might be able to score?" I was relieved and quickly replied yes, as I had not yet came up with a plan on how to approach asking for the credits. Zach asked, "Think you would be able to get some bliss and some amper from your guy?" Lucky for me, I had only fronted enough to have a good time, knowing I would have trouble getting together the credits to pay it off. Don't know if I like that. I asked Zach how much he wanted, and it was more than I expected. I let him know how much it would be, plus a little extra. Zach walked over to his desk and pulled up his account. "Here, I'm transferring the credits to your account," Zach replied. I looked at the amount Zach had transferred to my account. It was enough to pay off the front and pay for most of what he was wanting. I would just get a few. I would just get a new front for what we were wanting tonight. "Food's ready," proclaimed Sarah, as she placed a tray of shish kebabs down in front of me to eat. I sat enjoying the food more than I had expected, realizing it had been a little. Oh, okay. I sat enjoying the food more than I expected. Nope, there's supposed to be a comma in there. That's definitely wrong. Hold on. Oh, let's go like that. Okay, I soon realized it had been a little while since my last real meal. Yeah. I like this better. Oh, when I correct it. Okay, I sat enjoying the food more than I had in, ugh. I sat enjoying the food more than I had expected. I soon realized it had been a little while since eating something yummy. I soon realized. Oh, no, no. Soon. I don't like that at all. Soon realizing it had been a little while. Let's get rid of the little. Okay, soon realizing it had been a while since eating anything substantial. They sat looking loving at each other while relaxingly making small talk. I finished before them and decided to excuse myself so I could head to Trags. You know what? Let's let's separate out this. I kind of think that this should be its own thing, and I think I should expand it, but I don't have a really good what I want to put there right this second. I'm going to just be honest. I think we've got chapter 2 kind of fixed, and I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Sarah and Zach sat looking lovingly at each other while relaxingly making small talk. What all are we going to have them visited? I kind of want to expand this out. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna re-hit this chapter. I don't have a plan for right this second on it. Uh, I do need to figure out where I'm gonna put the horror stuff extra in on chapter 2 and chapter 3. I'm probably going to touch this a little bit. Tomorrow we will hit chapter 3 for sure. Chapter 3 I think is pretty good. I'm gonna probably read back through this. There will be some minor adjustments. I'm currently trying to figure out where to give the extra information that I was asked to. I'm just, I kind of want to figure out what all's in the first 4 chapters before I go in, like, add extra stuff. And I want to make sure that it's not stuff that's going to just end up being redundant later on. I guess if it is redundant, we can just be like, we already covered that, and then we can go into it in a more in depth manner. But as it looks, we've got chapter 2 edited through. I will read all the way back through this off stream, and try to see if there's anything else that needs done. We will do number three tomorrow, though. I'm going to be back in just a few minutes and we'll do the trend report. I want to thank you guys for being amazing and for hanging out this morning. As soon as I am done with this, if you guys want to start thinking of the type of book, some ideas, I'm going to do a brainstorming stream. We'll probably use some random dice to roll some dice. I'm really just trying to write a few books to explore what I like to write on, what styles, and in all honesty, to get better at it. I feel just the process of throwing out this first book that's an actual real book, you know what I mean, not just a short story, is profoundly interesting. It's been a great learning experience, and I'm enjoying the shit out of it. The editing part, not so much. I'm trying to get my soul into that. That's hard, I'll tell you. But you guys are epic. You guys, see you in a few more minutes. We'll be back with a trend report. Stay epic. Peace and very best wishes.